Today, we're plunging into something pretty huge that just happened. This massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake off Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula yesterday.
Yeah, definitely made waves, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. It wasn't just a local thing. It actually sent ripples across the Pacific. We saw tsunami alerts pop up as far away as Hawaii. So our mission today really is to cut through the noise a bit. We want to get a handle on the true scale of this Russian quake. You know, what was the impact?
Right.
And how could it possibly trigger a tsunami warning so far away? And then, the big one for a lot of folks, especially here in California, could we actually see an 8.8 here?
That's the question everyone asks after these big ones, isn't it?
It really is. So
Well.
get ready for some hopefully aha moments about what actually matters when the ground shakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack this Russian tremor first. When I first saw the reports, it was like 8.0.
Yeah, that's often how it starts. Initial estimates.
Then, boom, upgraded pretty quickly to 8.7, and then the USGS, the U.S. Geological Survey, settled on 8.8.
A confirmed 8.8.
Which, if that number holds, and it seems like it will, that's the 6th largest earthquake ever recorded.
Wow, that's significant.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, same magnitude as that 2010 quake in Chile. Really tragic one. Killed over 500 people.
And what's also striking, it matches a quake way back in January 1906 in Ecuador.
1906, okay.
Yeah, and the surprising thing there was its tsunami waves actually reached Northern California.
No way. All the way from Ecuador.
All the way. It just shows you how these events, these really powerful ones, can have effects thousands of miles away.
Incredible. And, you know, when a quake that big hits under the ocean, the immediate thought is tsunami. How far do those waves travel?
Exactly.
And for this one, well, Hawaii got the answer pretty fast.
The response time was quite remarkable.
It really was. The quake hit off Kamchatka at 1:25 p.m. Hawaii time. And within minutes, literally minutes, a tsunami watch was issued.
Just a heads up initially.
Right. But then that escalated fast. By 2:43 p.m., a full warning.
Okay, so about an hour later.
Yeah, and then sirens were actually blaring across the islands by 3:23 p.m. So under 2 hours from quake to sirens.
That's quick. It shows how seriously they take these threats and how quickly things can change.
Definitely. So help us understand tsunamis a bit better. It's not just one giant wave like in the movies, is it?
No, absolutely not. That's probably the biggest misconception. It's actually a series of long ocean waves. Think of them like pulses of energy moving through the water.
Pulses, okay.
And each individual wave crest, when it reaches the shore, can last quite a while, maybe 5 to 15 minutes, sometimes longer.
15 minutes, wow.
Yeah, and they can flood coastal areas really expensively. And the key thing, the absolute crucial point, is the danger isn't over after the first wave hits.
All right, you hear that a lot.
It can continue for hours, many hours, as more waves arrive. And often, the first wave is not the largest.
That's the really scary part, I think. You might think it's over, but it's not.
Exactly. That's the critical takeaway for anyone living near the coast.
And they behave strangely near land, too, right? Like wrapping around islands.
They do. They're very long waves, so they can refract or bend around obstacles. That means all shores of an island are potentially at risk, not just the side facing the earthquake.
So direction doesn't matter as much as you'd think.
Not as much, no. And you might see strange things, like the water receding dramatically, exposing the seafloor. That's the trough of the wave arriving.
It's a warning sign.
A huge warning sign because the crest is coming right behind it, and that area will flood very quickly. Plus, you get these incredibly strong, unpredictable currents near the shore.
And debris.
And debris, yes. The water picks up everything, cars, parts of buildings, and that debris turns the water into this destructive battering ram.
Just adds to the danger.
Immensely. And one more factor, if it happens during high tide or if there's already high surf.
It makes it even worse.
Significantly increases the hazard, yeah. We actually saw this happening in real time yesterday. Through sensors like the DART buoys. Those are deep ocean assessment and reporting of tsunamis buoys. They sit out in the deep ocean and measure pressure changes from passing waves.
So they can detect a tsunami way out at sea.
Precisely. They confirmed wave activity. For example, one buoy, DART 200-4416, measured a wave nearly a meter high, about 3 feet.
Okay, so confirmation it was real and on its way.
Yes. And NOAA's tsunami expert, Dr. Chip McCreary, was providing updates, estimating the first wave arrival in Hawaii around 7:17 p.m. local time.
Right. Now, you mentioned watches and warnings. That can be confusing for people. Can you just quickly break down the difference?
Absolutely. It's vital for knowing what to do. So the first level is a tsunami watch.
Okay, watch.
That's issued when an earthquake happens that could generate a tsunami. It doesn't mean one is definitely coming, but the potential is there. Think of it as pay attention, get ready, listen for updates.
Got it. Prepare.
Then it might get upgraded to a tsunami advisory.
Advisory. Different from a watch.
Yes. An advisory means a potential tsunami exists that could cause strong currents or dangerous waves near the shore. Widespread inundation, like major flooding inland, isn't expected.
Okay, so dangerous near the water, but maybe not flooding neighborhoods.
Generally, yes. The advice is stay out of the water, stay away from beaches and harbors. You don't necessarily need to evacuate your home unless you're right on the waterfront, but definitely avoid the coast.
Makes sense. And the most serious one?
That's the tsunami warning. This is the highest alert. It means significant, widespread flooding inundation is imminent or expected.
Okay, this is the big one.
This is the big one. Dangerous coastal flooding, powerful currents. This means take immediate, urgent action to protect life and property. Evacuate if you're told to.
And we saw that happen in Hawaii, right? The real-world response.
We did. Emergency shelters were open. They opened Kolokol Pass, which is usually restricted, to help with evacuations on Oahu. Even flights to Hawaii were put on hold for a while. It becomes a full-scale emergency situation. Yeah. It's definitely serious stuff. Okay, that brings us to the question I know is on a lot of people's minds, especially hearing 8.8 magnitude. For those of us in, say, California, we still remember 1906, the 7.9. Could we ever actually experience an 8.8 here? What do the scientists say?
Well, the short answer, thankfully, is no.
No? Just flat out no.
Pretty much. The scientists are quite confident that an 8.8 is geologically not really possible on the known California faults.
Okay, why? That seems counterintuitive given how seismically active we are.
It comes down to the plumbing, basically. The size of the pipes, or in this case, the size of the faults.
Fault size.
Exactly. The maximum magnitude an earthquake can reach is directly related to the physical dimensions of the fault that ruptures primarily its length and width.
Okay.
So you take the San Andreas Fault, it's famous, it's the longest in California, runs about 800 miles.
Right.
But even that one, the USGS estimates it probably maxes out around an 8.3 magnitude.
8.3, so it's still huge, but not 8.8.
Still a monster quake, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, likely capped around 8.3. Okay, what about other faults, like in the Bay Area? The Hayward Fault.
Much smaller. The Hayward Fault, running through the East Bay, is only about 45 miles long.
Tiny compared to the San Andreas.
Relatively, yes. And its maximum is probably around a 7.0. Now, Stephen DeLong at the USGS suggests maybe a 7.2 if it ruptured together with the nearby Rogers Creek Fault, but still nowhere near an 8.8.
Right.
And just for comparison, think about that world record holder, the 1960 Chile earthquake. 9.5 magnitude.
Unbelievable.
The fault that caused it was immense, about 1,000 miles long and 150 miles wide. Just a completely different scale than what we have cutting through California.
That really puts it in perspective, the sheer length of the rupture zone needed for those megaquakes.
Precisely. And this brings us to something really important for understanding these numbers, the logarithmic scale.
Yeah, yes, the math part.
The math part, but it's crucial. It's easy to hear 8.3 and 8.8 and think, oh, that's only half a point difference.
Doesn't sound like much.
But because it's logarithmic, each whole number increase means the shaking, the amplitude of the waves, goes up tenfold.
10 times the shaking for one whole number.
Wow. And the energy released, that goes up by about 32 times for each whole number increase.
32 times?
Yeah. So the jump from, say, an 8.3 to an 8.8 isn't just a little bit more energy. It's vastly, hugely more powerful. Understanding that scale is key.
That is a real aha moment. Okay, so an 8.8 is off the table for California. But here's something that really shifted my thinking. Something William Ellsworth, a geophysics professor at Stanford, pointed out.
Okay.
He said that once earthquakes get up to around magnitude 7.0, the magnitude itself becomes less important than how close you are to the fault.
Ah, proximity. Yes.
Proximity is key. So the takeaway isn't just, phew, no 8.8 for us. It's more like, hang on, even a smaller 7.0 could be catastrophic if it hits close by.
That is absolutely correct. That shifts the focus entirely. An 8.8 is terrifying in its scale, but a 7.0, which we know our local faults like the Hayward or northern San Andreas can produce.
Right under our feet, basically.
Right under major urban areas. That's extremely dangerous. Think back to Loma Prieta in 1989. That was a 6.9.
Yeah, caused the cypress structure collapse, Bay Bridge section failure, fires in the marina.
Exactly. Significant damage. But that quake was centered down in the Santa Cruz Mountains, 60 miles or so from San Francisco and Oakland.
If it had been closer?
If that same energy release had happened on the Hayward Fault, running right through the East Bay, far, far worse damage. The USGS actually did a scenario study recently.
What'd they find?
They estimated that a magnitude 7.0 quake centered on the Hayward Fault in Oakland could damage over 1 million buildings.
1 million.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
So yes, magnitude matters, but once you're in that dangerous 7+ range, where the rupture happens relative to where people live and work, that's critical. Proximity is king.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? Well, that Russian quake, the 8.8, and the tsunami it caused, truly immense events on a global scale. But when we bring it home, understanding our own local geology, the limits of our faults like the San Andreas, and this crucial difference between magnitude and proximity.
It gives you a much clearer, more actionable picture of your actual risk.
Exactly. It's less about the headline number from halfway across the world and more about the faults in your own backyard.
It shifts the focus from, abstract fear of a megaquake to concrete understanding of local hazards.
Precisely. So here's something to think about. Knowing that an 8.8 like Russia's is pretty much impossible here, but a potentially devastating 7.0 on a fault like the Hayward or San Andreas is very much a possibility.
A real scenario we need to prepare for.
How does that shift in understanding affect how you think about your own preparedness? Or maybe just your curiosity about these incredible unseen forces constantly reshaping the ground right under our feet?